This is a 1947 Indian Chief. Indians were beautiful old bikes that cruised the highways of America and did it in style. This one is just a good road bike. It was built by Ray Nemarer about 15 years ago or so when I bought it. And it's got the deep valance fenders that Indians were known for. Obviously red, most famous of the Indian colors. Indians' controls were laid out differently than Harley-Davidson. They had the throttle on the left-hand side, the spark advance on the right-hand side handlebar, and they had the gear shifter on the right-hand side and a rocker clutch operated by your foot on the left-hand side. So you had to juggle this left-hand throttle and your spark advance and all this various stuff while you're making your way down the road. And it's a bit of an art that you have to master, and there's not a lot of people that really know how to do that unless they've really been an Indian rider. But they have a gorgeous look to them. This one's got nice black wheels on it, 16-inch wheels, 16-inch tires, and a nice red pinstripe around the wheels front and back. They had a rear suspension on them too, which was a plunger rear suspension. So you did get some movement out of the back end too whenever you went over a bump, but most of your suspension was really in the seat. And the seat was spring-loaded and it would spring up and down as you went down the highway. Just a great riding motorcycle and still a good one to ride on the roads today.
As we mentioned in the 1940 Indian 4 segment on our pre-war DVD, Indian was founded in 1901. In that first year, a prototype and 2 production units were designed, built, and tested. Indian was not only the first American motorcycle, it was the world's best-selling bike, and having introduced the first V-twin motorcycle to the world in 1907, it was the most technologically advanced. Harley-Davidson 1910 models were in contrast all singles producing 5 horsepower or less. The factory became known as the Wigwam, and company founders George M. Hendy and Carl Oscar Hedstrom became known as the Indian Chiefs. Hendy was a bicycle racer who won an impressive 302 of the 309 races he entered. Quite possibly the first application of aerodynamics in racing, pacers were tandem bicycles intended to run ahead of the bicycle racers. Their purpose was to run ahead of the racers and split the airstream, thus lessening wind resistance. Even with 2 strong athletes pedaling, the racers would soon catch up to them, thus defeating the whole purpose of the exercise. Designing a lighter, stronger pacer frame fitted with a small gasoline engine to assist the pedalers, pacer bike builder Hedstrom caught the attention of bicycle racer Hendy, and the rest, as they say, is history. In spite of having more than 20 competitors by the beginning of World War I, Indian had 40% of the American motorcycle market. Among Indian's innovations were the first big V-twin motors, the first 2-speed transmissions, the first adjustable front forks, the first electric lights and starters, among many others. Almost 100 years before the phrase Customer Relations Management, or CRM for short, was invented, Indian devoted an intensity of effort to CRM matched only by Henry Ford after the introduction of the Model T. Thousands of Indian fans flocked to dealerships all over the country at annual Indian Day celebrations. Customers were welcomed at the wigwam decades before official tours became a staple at other factories.